Hey friends, hope you had a good Christmas, New Year's, and Yule, or whatever you celebrate. I did. It was nice. I wanted to get a video done today because it's been so long without uploading anything. I'm kind of out of the practice of it already, and just want to get something up and going to get that ball rolling again, because the holidays kind of interrupted that a little bit. Of course, that's an excuse, but hey, sometimes excuses are true. Wanted to talk today a little bit about something I've been thinking about in terms of following your heart with respect to how you're living your life and living in balance. Because as I get more comfortable making videos here, I want to start talking about these masculine virtues that I keep mentioning here and there. But of course, I want to do it justice and want to have my skills honed. So I've just been kind of leaving little tidbits here along the way. And one of the things I was realizing is that at the end of the day, a lot of these virtues, in terms of masculine virtues and just virtues of being a decent human being, comes down to living life in balance, especially for any situation. So you can see a lot of these virtues, say by the Romans or the Vikings, where they say, okay, well, you should be courageous, you should be strong, but you should also be hospitable, you should be a good host, you should be empathetic, you should be just. So even though people sometimes argue that traditional masculine roles are unbalanced, and they certainly do lean towards a certain way, and that's why it's nice to have the feminine balance that out. On the other hand, if you are trying to live proper masculine virtues, you will be living a life that's more in balance than not. And one of the curious things that I was thinking about today was the idea of following your heart or listening to your heart. Because often in today's society, those kinds of statements are usually credited to people who might be a bit more flaky, let's say. And there doesn't seem to be much wisdom in that in some sense, but there actually is. When you think about, there's this Roman virtue of masculinity, fermitas, which actually is also part of Roman Vitruvian architecture. That's one of their pillars of it. Maybe I'll do a video about erecting the three pillars of Vitruvian architecture. No, probably not. The idea of fermitas is that a person is strong enough to stick to their purpose. And the idea of having a purpose, a purpose in life, what you're meant to do, that idea, to me, seems like it's an inner idea that's yourself in terms of your heart or your soul. It's not necessarily a mental idea of yourself and your purpose. Your purpose is something that resonates within yourself. And a few months ago, I decided that I would start living more along that principle of following my heart. And it's this idea of fermitas, this idea of understanding the things in life that resonate with you, and then having the strength and the courage, and then of course the work ethic and the perseverance, the tenacity to actually stick with it and say, no, I'm going to outline the things that, the boundaries of what is my purpose, or what does my heart say, versus what does the world say. Because sometimes it can be very easy to try to overthink what you should be doing and make decisions from your mind, not from your heart. And even though that might seem like a virtue that's not inherently masculine, I would argue that if you look at the Romans, and and this idea of fermitas that it actually is, that you have a purpose, and that purpose isn't necessarily something that you can intellectualize in a sense. So I think it's important to try to figure out the idea of your purpose with respect to interpersonal relationships, with work, career, family, and then have the courage to actually to declare that and say, no, this is my purpose, and these are the things that fall within it, and everything else is outside of it. And if someone makes a suggestion like, oh, how about thing A, you can say, well, no, that doesn't fall in line with what my purpose is, and you can easily push that aside. And I think with that comes clarity. So I just wanted to pass that on. So I hope all of you have the courage to stick with your purpose, and I'll do the same for me. Right on. Have a good rest of your day. If you like things that I say, click subscribe, hit the like button, and keep pushing this forward. Thanks.